Welcome to Recovery Talk Live, an ongoing open discussion about psychological, emotional, and spiritual recovery. Our mission is to deliver the message that those who are suffering with emotional trauma can recover. And now, here are your hosts, Dawn and Terry.
And welcome to Recovery Talk Live. I'm Dawn Maxwell, registered addiction specialist, here with my co-host and partner,
Terry Liddell.
And Terry, what do you do?
I'm a drug and alcohol counselor, licensed in California and the state of Arizona, and I work with people, families, and couples who are struggling with addictions.
Thank you for joining us here today. And Terry, I think we're going to go to a new place today. We're going to visit some new waters. We're here to desensitize you to the idea of recovery, to realize it's for everyone. Everybody needs help in some way, one way or the other. And in all the topics we've covered, Terry, and all the shows we've done, we've never really talked about prescription drugs as addiction. We always fall to the sex addiction or the alcohol, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem, prescription drug addiction. And I actually saw a documentary not too long ago about the whole underground market with physicians. And what do you think it is that people aren't seeing, that prescription drugs are an addiction?
I think for me, the biggest or the simplest reason is that it's, in quotes, legal. I go to my doctor, he gives me a prescription, it's all the way it should be. And since I'm doing it legally, if you will, I'm not on the street corner trying to hook up with some dealer. I'm not in some back alley trying to buy something that isn't okay. I just literally go down to the drugstore, hand them my prescription, and I'm good. And
it's rampant. It's rampant. This is bigger than a lot of the illegal
Well, when
drugs.
you look at the amount of drugs that are sold over the counter in drugstores under prescription formats, you're talking about antidepressants, you're talking about painkillers, you're talking about things that we use normally, if you will. Because if I have a pain, if I have an injury, I go to the dentist. Literally, I had a root canal the other day.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And so am I, but it feels better now. But the reality was, I went in there and the doctor said to me, I'm going to give you some.
Right, he's going to give you something to help the pain because it's excruciating.
And he said, now wait a minute, hang on, because he said, here's the deal. He said, I can give you ibuprofen, 800 milligrams.
Who gave you a choice?
Okay, or I can give you some Vicodin. Which would you prefer?
And you said, okay, as Terry, the recovering addict, what did you say to the doctor?
And I said, I'll take the Vicodin because I can sell it on the street. Of course I didn't do that.
No.
I said, I'll take the ibuprofen because Vicodin and I don't get along. But it was I'm in there is a standard situation, just getting a root canal, being very normal dental work. And he handed me a drug that I can sell on the streets.
Okay, so somebody like me who doesn't want the drugs, I would probably not take it either because I just don't like the way it makes me feel. However, what you just identified is you're being given a choice. So let's just go to a place where you're in the dentist chair and you're active in your addiction. So you want the Vicodin.
Of course I do.
Okay, so, but you're not, let's pretend like you're not in recovery and you say, yeah, I'll take the Vicodin and it's really bad. And then you call them in a week and you say, okay, another abscess, it's really bad and you get more. How are you working that doctor?
Well, I may not work that doctor because that doctor is going to give me a prescription that says no refills.
Right, well, maybe.
And then he says,
maybe.
Well, okay. Maybe not.
You can buy a doctor.
You can buy a doctor, and you can buy Vicodin on the internet. But the bigger thing is that I'm looking how to take care of me, my cravings, my addiction, my struggle, my stuff. I'm going to take care of me. So how many different ways can I do that? And what you're looking at is I may go to my regular dentist because the dentist that did the root canal for me said, okay, now that you have your root canal, go to your regular dentist because they have to put a crown on it.
Oh, so now you've got a second supplier.
Yeah, so now I can go, okay. And, oh gosh, I really got busy. And so I could call the other dentist and I could say, hey, I just didn't have time. So could I get a couple extra pills from you? But I'm going next week. Okay. And then I get there to my regular dentist and I can.
And you're working it.
And I'm working
it. We get how you're working it. It's just that your dealers, unlike being on the street corners, are wearing nice white jackets, little monogram on the side. And because they're giving it to you in a prescription format, you're feeling I mean, is this helping your denial, right? Because you're feeling like it's written, here's my name on the prescription pad, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I suffer. I suffer.
I do. I have pain.
I have pain.
Now, and this brings up a whole other layer of stuff.
I know we're going somewhere. I can feel it.
There is a fairly large suit being filed against the NFL right now, and it's right now. Last I saw was 750 players who had signed up to sue the NFL for the fact that they have 750 drug addicts.
And what kind of drugs are those?
Mostly painkillers.
Now, why would the NFL be giving them pain? Now, let me guess. As a non-sports person, and you couldn't be more non-sports than me, I'm going to speculate that that's because they have injuries. They want them to play through the injuries. Is that correct?
Well, how do you win a game?
Well, you have to play.
Okay, so you have the best players you possibly can get,
and you drug them up.
Is the position that the NFL players who were in this suit are saying that you told me that I need to play, so take these pain pills and you'll be okay?
Yes, and by the way, you are listening to Recovery Talk Live here on KFNX with Dawn and Terry, and you can visit us at recoverytalklive.com. We are talking about prescription drug addiction today in the NFL. Terry, most commonly known for sports, and my knowledge, just mainstream, is the steroid problem with sports. Now you're bringing up a whole different issue where now they're being prescribed painkillers.
Well, steroids, see, here's the interesting thing. Steroids are illegal. If you take them and they catch you, there are consequences.
But that's out there already. This is new. You're saying now
this is not new.
Well, now this is out in the media more. This is new that they're pushing, that we publicly know that they're pushing pain pills on them, and now we have a bunch of NFL addicts. I mean, this is a serious problem.
My opinion says it's not just the NFL.
No, but you're bringing up the NFL.
Well, it's because they've signed. There's a very large suit that's in front of the NFL right now.
So it's in process.
And they're talking about some seriously impressive people as far as who these players are who've said, I played for you guys. I was a quarterback. I was a wide receiver. I was a linebacker. I was a interior lineman.
Are you name dropping? Who are these people?
Well, okay. I'll have to. Now you can ask me to get my notes and all that stuff. I have them. I have to dig in my notes. And you know what? But the reality is, when you look at the fact that I'm just John Q. Average Public, how easy is it for me to get pain pills?
This is the point. So the NFL, this is what's current in the media. This is a problem. I'm going to tell you, I have seen people do insane things to get prescription drugs. I have seen people break bones so that they can go to a doctor and get Norco. Norco, being something they give you. And it is one of the most addictive, Oxycontin, all of this stuff. People will injure themselves to get this kind of stuff.
Because?
Why do you think? Because same reason you did it, because they wanted to feel better about it. They want to feel better about themselves. But there's a moment.
So we're killing pain.
There is a moment that happens where the physical pain wears off. This is really key. And all of a sudden, you don't need your Norco and you don't need your Vicodin anymore, but the emotional pain kicks in, and that's where the line gets blurry. And that's where the addict, in my mind, can't differentiate the physical pain from the emotional pain, and it turns into an addiction versus being properly prescribed. And you're listening to Recovery Talk Live. Visit us at recoverytalklive.com. And if you have a comment about this, tweet us at @DDawnMaxwell and send us your live tweets if you have a question or comment on this, and we'd love to address it.
Well, I think you're talking about something that is going to be serious, because anybody can get a pain pill, and we have lots and lots of people going to emergency rooms and surgeries and the emergency centers and all the little things that we're talking about, who have these ghost pains. I'm in pain, so I need to get a legal pill. So that's really the thing that you're looking at, is that prescription drugs are really a big thing, a huge thing, and then it's a moneymaker. There's a lot of things that you're looking at.
But go back, and we're going to be going to break here in a second, but I want you to go back, because I think we're creating this awareness that it's a problem and that people hide behind it as a socially acceptable addiction. Agreed?
Yes.
But I want to know when we get back from break, what at recoverytalklive.com, what is happening in the mind of the addict when the physical pain ends, the emotional pain kicks in, and that's when you start to abuse the drugs. So let's go there. And join us after the break on recoverytalklive.com, and you are here with Dawn and Terry.
Shane Krauser, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. More freedom,
Yeah, but you don't know.
less government, and we the people taking on the issues of the day.
We don't
Liberty
know.
Storm with Shane
We don't know how long that
Friday
is.
From 1 to 3 p.m.
Where's my stuff? There's a whole one.
I don't want to make her sit out there.
Divorce tips that we provide.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother section with names. With names.
Does the audio sound good? See how important it is to do this, guys? See?
The financial statements.
Okay, I just want you to understand that I'm selling my autograph inexpensively now.
Expect your wise lawyer to do a thorough
He
online
stole my
search.
notes.
And incidentally,
No, I didn't.
Did it?
now a bonus tip. Partner with your
the
attorney
audio
in assembling
sound okay?
evidence. You're one of the two leading experts on your life and marriage. Your attorney needs
Don't sound so
your
excited,
input to
Laura.
They
achieve
said you had to be on a
Yeah,
hard
it was
landline.
clear.
Missouri
Yeah.
or Illinois.
Whatever.
I'm not licensed in your state.
I want enthusiasm, dude. Come on, step it up.
I know.
Bring it.
Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Arizona attorneys.
It was clear.
They're 9 minutes, I think.
7150 East Camelback Road, Suite 444,
Well, it's different. It goes,
Scottsdale,
one's like
Arizona,
8 and 3/4,
85251.
one's 10. They go
Here's
from
what
8 to
Sandy
10.
Barrett,
I
a
had-
realtor here in the
I
have
Valley
the
of the Sun
breakdown
for
somewhere.
32 years, had to say about Jack the Roofer.
You know what? He is the only call I make when I have
Now,
a
is
roof
my
issue.
16-second
I've been a
count
realtor
coming in
for
or
32
coming out on the
years.
second
He
segment? Do you
is
remember?
on time. He is clean.
It's going
he
out.
is
That's when the
precise.
tempo changes,
He's
and I know
always
I'm down
prepared.
to-
I've known him about 20 years. He's the best. Never met anybody that's more
But I
on their
thought that
game
was on
and
the
more
going- the
willing to
exit
be of
something.
service. Because you know anybody can get anything
Don't
done
take my
anywhere.
notes.
But when
Give me my
somebody's
notes.
willing to go the
You
extra
get your
mile,
own
and
notes.
I've seen
Terry,
him do it
I'm gonna write on
time
your
and
blue
again.
shirt. Give me my
He's
notes
just the
back.
best. I love him as a human
You're not
being and as a
careful.
roofer.
I'll mix
He's
them
just
up.
great. If
This is
somebody
my
else
stuff.
tells
You
you
get
need
your
this,
own
that, and the other
content.
thing, and he can do it a different way and have it be more economical, he will for you.
Get your roof fixed right
She's
the
worse.
first time.
When's
She's
that
worse than
tempo
my.
change?
She's worse than my daughter.
Remember this?
Call Jack the Roofer.
Did you hear? It was on, so it is on the fade out. Okay.
7443.
Okay, I think I must be programmed. Okay.
996 7443.
Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Edward Woodson, inviting you to tune in to the Edward Woodson Show. With me, your host, Edward Woodson. We'll talk business, politics, and the things
We're
that
live. Are
really
you
make
getting
you
it today?
mad.
She doesn't. She
Catch
doesn't
the
know.
Edward Woodson Show, weekdays from 5 to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Only on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
I'm Edward Woodson, and I'm so mad!
No. He's the only place where my voice comes in.
Join registered addiction specialist Dawn Maxwell and substance abuse counselor Terry Ladow for Recovery Talk Live, Thursday at 3 p.m. Hear real-life success stories and gain sanity in your own life. Recovery Talk Live, Thursday at 3 p.m.
And welcome back to Recovery Talk Live. This is Dawn Maxwell here with
Terry Ladow.
Okay, right before the break, Terry, we're talking about what happens because we know it's a problem. We are listening to Recovery Talk Live on KFNX. Please visit us at recoverytalklive.com. Questions and comments, and please tweet us live at @DDawnMaxwell on Twitter if you have a thought, a concern, or you just disagree, or you agree and you're just so happy on your pills you want to stay that way. We
Well, I
want to hear
tell them,
about that
it's
too.
DAWN Maxwell.
Yes, double D, DDAWN Maxwell.
there we go.
On Twitter.
Okay, so
So we're talking about the brain, the addict brain. We're gonna go with your dentist situation,
Okay.
where you're at the dentist. He's giving you the Vicodin. Now you went to the other dentist and you got your crown, and you're out of physical pain, but you felt so good. You had this awareness, and that thing kicked on in your brain where you're like, okay. Wow, that Vicodin
feel
made
better.
me not so mad at my wife. That Vicodin made me not think
Or
about
somebody else said.
my past abuse. I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Now there's a transference. The physical pain's gone, and you're liking the way it feels for the emotional pain.
right.
That's the point where it turns and
Okay.
becomes a problem.
Now, if you look at that using anybody, and we talked about the NFL.
Yes.
That NFL, they're wounded, they're hurt, they're banged up,
Physically.
and they're taking pills, and it feels better. Do those injuries ever heal, or are they now committed to having to have some sort of painkiller for the rest of their natural-born existence? Or can they become addicted? And when we start asking a lot of these questions, it stirs an awful lot of stuff.
It does.
So let's go back to me going to the dentist, and I like how Vicodin makes me feel, and so now I'm going to chase Vicodin. So
You're
how
gonna
do I do
chase
that?
it. Well, you went to the guy who does the root canal. I can't remember what that guy's called. Props to all you people who do that, because I probably am blocking you out on purpose.
He's called the dentist that does root canals.
Yeah, well, whatever the fancy name is, I'm sure it's a intentional mental block on my part. But and then you've played those two. Now what are you going to do? That's exactly right. What are you going to do? There's clinics. I mean, I don't want to be sending people to get high, but
there's an interesting idea here. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say that I come over to your house.
Okay.
And I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. All right.
So I go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're doing.
And I look in your medicine cabinet.
Dude, I've had this happen to me. I can't even believe you're saying this. I totally had somebody do that to me and then admit it later.
Okay.
I had some old prescriptions from a surgery I had. That person, the anonymous person, found them and stole them. I can't, and I didn't even think about that till just now.
So we're starting to now.
So disturbing.
Yeah, and so far I'm not way far out of bounds. I'm just I'm just still struggling with this whole thing. But if you keep walking down that street, and now how I get some more, and then I start asking friends of mine, and then I've got pain. I don't understand what's going on. My jaw hurts. I go to the doctor. I go to the dentist.
I'm so disturbed that I'm your supplier. I'm flushing everything.
Okay.
How many times have you done that to me?
So those are the things that really start coming up. So when we look at prescription drugs, the problem is it starts out as a normal, viable way for me to deal with pain that is normal for when you get your teeth worked on, for example. Or what if I go to the hospital because I was playing soccer.
You're liking this topic too much.
Well, because there's too much people. There's too many people in my life, including my kids.
Right.
Because my daughter in high school rolled her ankle playing soccer.
So this is a big issue.
And so we took her to the doctor. It wasn't a hospital visit, but obviously her ankle was a lot bigger than it should have been. Took her to the doctor or to the hospital, took her to the doctor, and the doctor said, we're going to take some X-rays, and we went downstairs to the X-ray building, and they took X-rays and came back and said, no, it's just all torn up.
Okay, so what happened?
Let me give you some
Vicodin. Gave her some Vicodin. Did she take it?
Yes, and she said, I don't really like this. It doesn't kill the pain.
People don't.
So she said, I don't know what to do with this. So this is a scary idea.
Okay, give it to us. We're dying on the vine.
I still think that bottle is in my medicine cabinet.
Oh, and why are you
that
keeping that
weird.
For you? Dude, we're having all these recollections.
I don't use Vicodin.
No, but you know it's there just like you know where
I
every
don't know
liquor
this
store
there. This is a crazy thing. I
forgot somebody I know robbed me of medication, so we're having flashbacks on our own here. Oh,
yeah,
that's
a little
trip.
scary.
On Recovery Talk Live, and you can visit us at recoverytalklive.com or tweet us at ddonmaxwell on Twitter.
I'm going to go into your medicine cabinet. In fact, I got to go. I'm pretty sure I got
You're freaking me out right now.
Yeah, so am I.
And let's give people ideas. This is what when we go into these places, I'm always afraid the addict out there, we're giving them fresh ideas for drugs.
Well, we can also tell the people that go through your medicine cabinet. Look at all the pills.
Turn it around.
If there's anything in there that shouldn't be in there. Because here's what happens in many ways. Oh, I'll just keep it. Because we may need it later.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay.
And then I probably don't even know what I have. My house is probably a plethora.
So
I'm flushing
when
we get home.
Just simple things, but yet people move down the path of addiction through normal, easy steps.
They do.
I'm gonna go to the doctor and I hurt, and it's a legitimate hurt. My jaw hurts. My daughter, that's right.
So,
my wife had mouth surgery.
Okay.
And they gave her Vicodin.
This is a hot topic issue with you too.
So it took her a while because she had major surgery. She had her jaw split and moved forward, and she had her mouth wired shut. And I mean, it was a long haul.
And at the end of the day, did she stop?
She had Vicodin, and she used it for a while, and she liked it because it killed the pain.
Of course, we know
the good news is that she didn't get addicted to it, but it's an easy thing to do because you're doing it the right way, and that's the scary part about it.
Until you cross that line, realizing
yeah,
you're
but we don't know where that line is.
Thing.
Yeah,
it is when the physical pain goes away is where the line is crossed. And what I've wondered is in your brain, are you fooling yourself, or is your brain so addicted to that medication that you now think the physical pain is still there when it's really the emotional pain?
In all the years that you and I have been together.
Yes. I've been in a lot of pain during that time, buddy. A lot of pain. Okay.
So here's the thing. It's not a pain. It's the feeling that I'm dealing with.
But you understand
I feel differently, yes, because the crossover part goes from pain to feeling.
Right.
I want to feel good. I want to feel better. I like how it made me feel. I want to get more of that.
Yes.
So I want the feeling is what I'm chasing. So I'm either trying to get rid of a feeling I don't like, or I'm chasing a feeling that I do like.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but,
Okay.
and see, you always look at it from the addict point of view, and I'm looking at this clinically thinking, now you don't know what you're
You asked me
numbing.
what was going on in my brain. I
Okay.
have an addict brain.
I know.
I have an
and
alcoholic brain.
I visit there sometimes, and I haven't found the way out, and I'm a little scared. But anyway, here in Recovery Talk Live at recoverytalklive.com, or tweet us at @DonMaxwell on Twitter, and let us know what you think about this topic. If we're in the progression, you get it from the doctor, then you go to the backup doctor. Maybe I've seen people say, I need a different dose. Let's go, hold on with me. And then you're robbing your friends. I've actually had that happen to me too. I am such the codependent supplier now too. We just find new levels of my own sickness in this show.
So then you look at it, what happens?
Wait, next level, you know where you're getting it statistically? Online. You're buying it online. That's where they're getting it.
Okay.
That's what the studies show.
So are you telling me that you can buy prescription drugs online with no prescription?
I'm trying to tell you, I've seen drug addicts who get emails of places to buy drugs that I didn't know existed because they Googled it, or, you know, props to Google. They searched it once.
Here's the problem.
And now they're getting it fed.
We don't have to tell the people who want to get drugs where to get drugs.
No.
What we need to talk about is the people that are living with the people.
Yes. The
So
people like me who need to clean it up.
Back to the family members, so which we were talking about in the first show. So the process, or the first segment, the process that we're talking about here is how do we deal with the people? How do we help the people who have to live with the folks who are the addicts?
And you know, they say now to keep all your medications in your bedroom if you have any age of person in the house, you know, that, and I do that, and keep it locked up even though you think your
So what else?
kids are
What
good.
other things can you look at to find out?
You have to get rid of, well, now, what I've, you know, what's brought prevalent to my mind is the codependent, and I really hope on our next segment break here at Recovery Talk on recoverytalklive.com that we have a systematic flush across the nation. There is like and all through Phoenix, you know, the water pressure goes down because the codependents are dumping the old drugs. But I think we need to really create the awareness, because you're right, if somebody wants it, they're going to find it. The codependents need to be cognizant of what they have and get rid of it.
So if I'm going to take codependency away from you right now, and I'm going to say just anybody,
it's my crutch.
I know,
Okay.
everybody being aware of.
Yes.
Okay, because I care about you and I want you to be okay, so I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to look around your house and see what's going on. I'm going to ask you to look at the people in your family.
Right.
If you know somebody who's on prescription meds, now, and it's not just painkillers, we're talking about other meds and things.
And the next time
But
we're going to visit some
if
of
they
those.
are not functioning normally, and because prescription drugs help us, we take them as prescribed. That's why they call them prescription. Take them every 6 hours.
You start.
Well, now if it changes, that's the things that you're looking for. If you see a change in behaviors, if you see a change in attitudes.
Okay, so this is a self-awareness for the codependent to look in the other
Not
person.
the codependent,
This is for
the
now
anybody.
you're going to the anybody.
Anybody. Okay.
Okay, let's clarify so people know.
Okay, so we're talking about people who live in a house where my daughter rolled her ankle, so I'm checking her pills.
I see
And
that you
it
are.
says take every 4 to 6 hours,
Right.
or it says take 2 a day, or
Right.
it takes whatever's on the prescription bottle. So if I go in there and I look, and a bottle that should last a week is gone.
We're talking about this after the break. You're listening to Recovery Talk Live. This is Dawn and Terry. Visit us at recoverytalklive.com, and after the break, we're going to segue into elders misusing prescription drugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, colorful area. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break. No, it's out.
Coverage you can count on around the clock.
It's close.
That was
Jim
the
Howell
food.
on
There may
weather,
be a little.
and the KFNX
The
traffic
The
team.
fade picked up a
Independent
little.
talk,
So I hit the
1100
I hit the-
KFNX.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
News radio.
So,
Scattered
now-
locally heavy monsoon rains today. One in Prescott where temperatures plunged to 69 degrees.
So bring your
radar indicated
statistics.
somewhere around a half an inch of rain in a lot of these areas. There was a flood advisory issue, but we did not receive any reports of flooding.
Also very heavy rains in parts of Mojave County. Tucson police investigated the deaths of 2 people. The couple found dead in their home this morning. Possible murder-suicide. Customs and Border Protection officers at San Luis. Live parrots inside an Elmo doll at San Luis.
The stitching at the neck
And we have
had
these
been
epiphanies
opened
all
and
the
repaired,
time,
or
you
it
know.
appeared to have been repaired.
A Mesa man arrested. Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies in connection with the death of his pit bull found dead in the backyard with no shade or water.
You just had an epiphany. Your daughter's Vicodin.
Housing shortage in Metro Phoenix.
Actually, I didn't.
Wait, we're on the half hour.
thought it
Do you
was-
have time to pee? Be on the phone, just in case.
in 2012 and the early part of 2013.
Georgetown, Arizona.
Just hold that.
This KFNX traffic report is brought to you by Paradise Valley Community
Welcome back to
College.
Recovery Time.
In
Don
Tempe,
is
we
in
have
the
an
potty.
accident off to the right side of the I-10 eastbound, just east of University Drive. Phoenix, we have an accident, 43rd Avenue
just
at
took
Bell,
Don's Vicodin
Bell
away from
Road.
her.
And in Glendale, we have an accident, 59th Avenue at Peoria Avenue. Paradise Valley Community College is hosting Enrollment Express Day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Thursday, July 17th. For more info, go to paradisevalley.edu. Now let's take a look at your weather.
Jim Howell from the KFNX Weather Center scattered.
Well, see, here's the crazy part. You know, most everybody has no idea what a radio person looks
Partly
like.
cloudy, 107. Then we dry out and warm up over the weekend. Jim Howell, Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
Currently in Midtown, it's
I don't know what a
100
radio-
degrees. Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Right here on Independent Talk 1100
Yeah,
KFNX.
now, he looks like a radio guy.
Geico
He walks radio, he talks radio.
From the road. Every time I rev my engine down an open stretch of road, I'm glad I switched to Geico motorcycle insurance. Because nothing feels better than saving money with Geico. Except maybe the time I saved a life. A squirrel's life. Gave that little feller mouth to mouth, and then he bit me. On second thought, saving money with Geico probably feels better.
I'll wrap it up and then I'll
Motorcycle
pull it.
insurance. See how much you could save. Geico presents
Two more
Strange
seconds.
Savings Stories.
Don't count it down like you're glad. He's
Astronomers
counting it
detected
down
an
like he's
interstellar
glad.
transmission.
We're
It stated
50%
Geico.
done. What
15
did I
minutes
sign
could
up
save
for?
you 15% or more.
see how
The
many
implications were staggering. Was the
Yeah,
cosmos telling us
Mr.
we could
Glass
all
half
save
full.
hundreds on car
Yeah,
insurance?
that's what I meant.
Geico?
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah,
the radar
hello.
merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show?
Fun.
We
Fun.
know.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Geico. 15 minutes
Can
could
you do
save you
this on
15%
microphone
or more
do we
on
have to
car
always do it on
insurance.
phone?
Radio Rita wants
He
you
wants us to
be
pre-tape.
part of a unique
Fred,
and
let's
conservative
finish this so he can be
conversation
done, and
every
then we'll
Friday
approach him
at
for other
8 p.m.
things.
Rita Stiles, a conservative
Because this
with a
is causing
twist.
stress. He's
She'll
worked-
talk
he's been here all
marriage,
morning trying to
politics,
connect
pop
us.
culture, and the latest news.
he's
Rita will
largely in
rant,
charge.
rave,
He walks
ridicule, and
He
even
made
pay
it work.
respect when due.
Stilts.
Be sure to tune in to a discussion of conservatism like you have never heard
And
before.
props to my sister
Radio
Kelly that's sitting
Rita
here, 'cause
with
this goes
Rita
on YouTube.
Styles, Friday at 8 p.m.
Yeah, they tape us on the break so we can embarrass ourselves. Yes, come over. Come do your...
To join the service.
Thank you for watching us at Recovery Talk. Look at my beautiful sister. Yay. Oh, I just love that. Now I'm
Oh,
gonna
sure.
be all
You do that to
itchy.
her.
Yeah. You have to earn it, Terry.
I don't think anybody who goes.
I
Oh,
put
and
up
look
with
at
you.
our, do you like our
could
custom
ever
cups?
Yeah, custom cups.
honestly
Can you
say
read
that
that
they're
down
not
for me?
different when they come home.
My life's changed.
She said once the music
Hey,
starts.
What you take as a
did you just listen to your director?
It's not so simple for me anymore.
Listen to your director.
Pressure cooker. And you know, you want
I
somebody
was looking
desperately
at
to
Sarah.
trip that valve. You know, you want to lose all of that anger.
Where was
It's
the
the lies.
I was looking at Sarah.
It was
and-
right in front of you. It was
I
between
was
you and
looking
me.
at
It was a
you.
red
Get
thing.
educated.
You had me so mad. I wouldn't
Don't
even
brush
see
us
the light.
aside and don't count us out.
Hear
And
more of their
virtually.
stories at USO.
Wow! Oh my gosh, that
Dude.
hurt.
The wounds
Yes,
are
he's
invisible.
digging.
The
He's
stories
digging
are
deep.
real.
Colin.
Should Arizona legalize medical marijuana? Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Johnny Batman makes the case for legalizing medical marijuana. Exactly who is Johnny Batman? Tune in Tuesday
9
at
p.m.
9 p.m.
I don't know, but we could talk about.
Johnny.
We can talk about. Let him do that.
There's a 9 p.m. show on every Tuesday about legalizing from Johnny somebody.
Johnny Batman. Okay, here we go.
And welcome back to Recovery Talk Live. This is Don Maxwell here with
Terry Liddell.
And we are talking about prescription drug addiction. And please visit us at recoverytalklive.com.
We have a contact page. Tell us your questions, your concerns. If you have a private question, we will email you back. We're happy to get to you. You can also tweet us at @DDonMaxwell on Twitter. And continuing on with our prescription drug addiction.
Okay.
And again, recoverytalklive.com. We really want your feedback and appreciate anything you have to say. We've discussed where it happens in the mind, the continuing numbing, the codependents need to, get rid of the meds in the house, although...
No, not the codependents.
Okay, the family members of the
Everybody.
addicts
Yes.
need, because we're not going to label, I guess, but everybody needs to, but see, we're going to talk about senior prescription drug abuse, but before we segue there, I have to say, is it really, if, you're my roommate, is it really my responsibility to guard my medicine if you have a problem?
Is it your responsibility?
Take some ownership, man. You know?
I think that's one, that's a good question.
That's an enabling...
Here's the question. Okay, here's the question. Yeah, okay, here you go. But it's a good question. The process of me being responsible for my medication, my daughter being responsible for her medication as a teenager with a pretty serious ankle. So is she going to be in the pills, taking them, and all that stuff?
I don't know. That really bothered you with the teenage daughter and the ankle.
Well, because why? Because I have a history. Okay.
Okay, but she kept her medicine. She's not 16 anymore. I've met her. Why does she still have that Vicodin in the house?
She didn't.
You said it's still in the house and you knew where it was.
She doesn't live with me. She lives with her husband.
Oh, okay. Well, why is it in your house?
I don't know that it is. I just told you. It might be there because we didn't get rid of it.
But you're aware that it might be there.
It might be there.
So is that?
I'm telling on myself here. I'm telling you I'm telling you not to do what I did if I did that.
Okay.
I hope I threw it away a long time ago, but I get this as I'm talking to you. I see this bottle in the medicine cabinet, and I'm not sure what it is. So I got to go look when I get home tonight.
So I would say to your wife, Peggy, if you're listening, Peggy, look now and get rid of it.
Sure, why not? Yeah. But the bigger thing is that when we talk about addictions and we talk about medicine management, you take it as prescribed. You do the things you can do. If people aren't using it the way that it's prescribed, if they're using it in a manner that's not okay, that's an indicator. Something's up. Something's wrong. Now let's go.
I'm going to read a couple things. I'm just going to read. Here are the signs that you might be crossing the line. Let me just put some tools out there because we're all about the tools. If you're frequently refilling your prescriptions, if you're losing and requesting them, these are signs for the family member or the person doing it. If you're crushing or breaking pills to spread it out because you're afraid you're going to run out, you're stealing or borrowing, like Terry was saying, you're consuming them faster than it's indicated, you're visiting multiple doctors, forging. If you're breaking into forging, well, these are this is the progression. You're doing it on the internet.
Stuff,
you're having mood swings, sleep pattern changes, increased irritability.
The simple is watch an attitude. If you see a shift in the people's attitudes, something's going on.
Something's going on.
Good. And that's a quick and easy check because it happens fairly quickly.
Very quickly. Okay, that's excellent. So now, recoverytalklive.com. Please visit us. This is Dawn and Terry. You're listening to KFNX. There is a lot, and we really debated if we should talk about this topic. And I even found out in my research this morning.
Is Grandma a drug addict?
Is Grandma on drugs?
Yeah. That's
Grandma
the
might be on drugs. I actually found...
Grandpa might be too.
I found a treatment center online this morning that specializes in senior drug abuse.
Because?
And obviously there's some issue with them abusing drugs. And they have a high rate of depression. I'm going to say they have a high rate of borrowing medication. I'm a little bit out of that one. Can you? Because of monetary reasons, they can't afford it.
Monetarily?
I've got one of those left over. Who knows what Joe's given Daisy? You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole thing. So
it's a big deal.
It could be financial reasons they're doing it.
Wait, how would they abuse drugs for that? You mean for the borrowing of the
here's the thing. You have people who have extra drugs. You have people, so we're going to share. Grandma's going to share with Grandpa or the guy next door or the old thing.
Seniors,
for everyone. So it's a big deal. But here's the other side of the coin. Who when you look at a family, who's probably going to hurt more often, young people or old people?
Well, it depends. I mean, physical pain, when you're old, it hurts. Everything starts falling apart.
That's it. So
emotional pain,
I go to the doctor, and they're trying to take care of me because elder medicine is a real live, honest to goodness thing because you have people that have more than one thing wrong with them. Now, my daughter rolled her ankle. She doesn't have high blood pressure.
I think you need to totally get over that injury.
I am over the injury. I'm using an example here. She's a young child. She has one focus. She has a rolled ankle. And it hurt her.
Yeah.
Now, I'm old. I got bad ankles. I got hearing problems. My blood pressure.
Whoa.
I can't stand. I've got.
Are you saying Grandma steals too?
No, I'm saying that
you're inferring Grandma steals.
No, I said that I have more than one issue that I'm dealing with. So I go to the doctor, and the doctor gives me some medication, and I'm
Okay.
still hurting, and it isn't working, and I've got all this stuff. So now I have interaction between medications.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out
Yes.
how to deal with this pain because I'm old. It hurts.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I can't sleep at night. So what am I going to do? I can't get up the stairs as fast as I used to. In fact, sometimes I have to stop halfway up the stairs because my knees are hurting. So what do I do?
Agreed.
So I have trouble walking. I can't sit in a chair long because if I try to get up, I hurt. So what do I do?
Well,
Now, I'm
hopefully you're not
depressed.
stealing your granddaughter's pills.
And I'm depressed because I hate being old and I
And
hate
they
all
are
this other
depressed.
stuff.
There's a lot of
and so now
depression in
I'm
the
borrowing
senior
some
community.
pills from you because I want to feel better. And so there's a whole nother layer. In fact, I'll read you a statistic that I really like. Okay, misuse of prescription medication was estimated to increase from 1.2% in 2001 to 2.4% in 2020. That's a 100% increase in older adults that we're looking at having to deal with. Plus, the influx of people. The baby boomers are getting old.
Okay.
So you're looking
They
at
are.
doubling.
They all
your
turned
trip-
50 this year. Did you know that? This is the last year of the boomer. All the boomers, I have a friend who's really into this. The last of the boomers turned 50 this year.
Okay, so
it's a good time to talk about the boomers.
Okay, so if you get a 121% increase in emergency visitations for elders who
Yes.
are in pain, and what do you do with that? What are they doing with that?
I actually think that the senior community is I think they're neglected.
Okay.
I think that doctors, and I'm not speaking for all doctors, there's an appearance that it's much more easier to just write an elderly person a prescription because they're going to die pretty soon anyway, and it's less managed. That's my perception. And you know
How
what?
do you manage that?
There's a lot of really depressed senior citizens who just are kind of suicidal and don't want to die.
All right, now
and don't
I'm
really
old.
care.
So think about what you're saying. I'm old. I don't like how it's going. I used to be very active. Now I'm having trouble getting across the room. What do I do?
Well, you're probably getting depressed.
Okay, so
You're
we have
probably depressed
pain
with the reality.
medication, and now we have depression.
That's right.
Along with the fact I have high blood pressure and I've got liver problems and my sinuses are acting up and all that other junk.
And the
then-
average senior is on 9 medications.
Okay, so what does that tell you?
So that tells me that there's a lot of cross-medicating, probably not a lot of monitoring of it.
Mhm.
And I
And
know
then
there's a lot of borrowing of meds because of the economy, or they're skipping and taking it every other day. I know a lot of seniors that do that because
Okay.
they can't afford it. Another problem.
So this is a pretty serious, and
That's very serious.
Sun City is a fairly large area. We have elder people all across the United States, but
Yes.
Locally there's a lot of people here.
There are. So what is the solution for this? Because I think
It's interesting.
I think it's really a talking point because
Yeah.
I think it's a neglected population because a lot of people are in their
Interfering
80s.
with
But
the
there's hope.
medication.
But there's hope.
Take the
And
prescription.
there is
So let's
treatment.
go back to
Over
the
there
families,
anyway.
as we talked
Right,
about
because
earlier.
there has to be
So
hope.
the people that care about them
We're not-
are watching, taking care of
But there's
stuff,
hope.
doing the things
But
that they
there's
need to
hope.
do,
And
and
So let's go back
interfering,
to
if you
the
will,
family.
in the medication
There has
process
to
of
be
the
hope.
So the people
of
that care
elders
about them,
We're not
because they care about them.
The
So-
families interfering in a positive or a negative
Positive
way?
way.
In a positive way.
interfering, if you
Because
will,
if I'm just
in
taking
the
pills because I
medication
want to feel
process
better, but I'm not paying attention to what's
because
going
they care
on.
about them. So
I would really encourage the families to jump in. I mean, I saw this,
it's if I'm
the
just
senior
taking pills
citizens in
'cause I want to
rehab.
feel better, but
It's not
I'm
too late to
paying
get off
attention
drugs.
to
It's not
what's
too
going
late to set an example for your kids if you're 90 and your
encourage
kids are
the
70.
families to jump in. I mean, I saw this, the senior citizen rehab. It's not too late to get off drugs. It's not too late to set an example for your kids if you're 90 and your kids are 70.
And we'll continue on with this after the break. This is Recovery Talk Live. You're here with Dawn and Terry. Please visit us at recoverytalklive.com and you visit our contact page. You can write us. And also you can tweet us at @DawnMaxwell. That's at that's double DAWN Maxwell. And we'll join you after the break. This is Recovery Talk Live.
Here's what Sandy Barrett, a realtor here in the Valley of the Sun for 32 years, had to say about Jack the Roofer.
Well, you're
You know
telling me
what?
wrap
He
up.
is the only call I
that
make
was your
when
just
I have a
going.
roof
Okay, I
issue.
thought you
He
were wrapped
is
up.
on time.
No.
He is
You know what?
This
I
is
can't
stretch
He
it.
is
No,
precise.
This is stretch
I've
it.
known him about
You know
20
what
years.
worked
He's
for
the
me
best.
is when
Get
Sarah
your
was
roof
doing
fixed
this.
right the
That's
first
when I
time
was
and
like,
get it
and then I
fixed
would
before
go.
monsoon season. Call Jack
So-
the Roofer.
That's okay. She just increased the volume when I stopped talking.
602-996-7443. That's 602-996-7443.
Every day's a holiday in Healthy Habit Health Food Store, 6029 North 7th Street. Tune in to Healthy House Call discussing the latest breakthroughs of integrative medicine. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 a.m. and call with your questions. 602-266-1000. Discover world-class physicians, medical researchers, Hollywood celebrities, professional athletes, and testimonials from our patients and consumers of natural products. Call 602-266-1000.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are now more than 1.1 million people living with HIV/AIDS in the U.S., and nearly 200,000 of them don't know they're infected. This sad fact highlights an awareness gap and the need for education. With regular testing, early detection, and increasingly effective treatments, people can manage HIV and live long, productive lives. In the past year, there has been much progress in research. A 3-year study in France found that 1 in 10 people treated within 10 weeks of becoming infected were able to combat the disease. This is not the norm, since most are diagnosed long after they are infected. While proper treatment has become much more available and effective, only 25% of Americans with HIV are receiving treatment. It is so important to ensure that all people, especially young people, are aware and educated about HIV/AIDS prevention and the availability of effective treatments. Visit actagainstaids.org to learn where you can get tested today.
So what is the wrap-up, guys? So what is the fourth segment?
We're all come back to Recovery Talk Live. Well, here with
Terry Liddell.
And you visit us at recoverytalklive.com. That's recoverytalklive.com, or tweet us at @DDonMaxwell. And we are talking about prescription drug addiction today. And right now we're talking about how it affects our senior community, which is a really difficult topic because they're unforgotten often. They're forgotten.
There you go.
Yes, it's just the brain thing happening. They're the forgotten segment of society oftentimes, not always, when they've come to an assisted living situation. The prescriptions are just, they don't have much time. But there's hope. There is hope. We were talking earlier, there are treatment centers that are specific.
There are treatment centers,
for this.
and one of the best treatment centers there
And
is
probably
the
covered by
back to the
Medicare.
family. Well, that's true, but
Or Medicare,
I like
Medicaid.
intervention before that. I like kids. I like people. I like friends and neighbors checking on each other. I like the fact that when Peggy's mom was that's my wife. When Peggy's mom was in assisted living, we went by and we'd see her 3 or 4 times a week, and she had some friends in there, and what was interesting is there were people checking on their medication, but yeah, exactly, but they have the process of I can trade drugs, I can do all those other things,
that's
and you start talking, but. I'm going to go back to the basics. You stick with the things that matter. Are the pills being consumed properly? How's her attitude? How's her activities? What's going on? The reality of addiction is it's a progressive process.
It is.
So we're going to take more and more because we build a tolerance. We do a lot of things.
And I would say take some ownership for your loved one. There's a Dolly Parton movie, Straight Talk. Have you ever seen it? It's really cute. And it's an older movie, and she says this line in this movie is, I never could understand how one mama can take care of 10 babies, but 10 babies can't take care of one mama. And that line has stuck with me because if you have someone, an elderly parent or grandparent you're taking care of. I have my best friend Lori of 30 years, and I'm going to tell you, every month she went up and did her folks' medication until they died. And she got the 1 month thing, and she put the pills in there. She refilled them, and she controlled them. And just because your parent may not think, or your grandparent, they need that help, doesn't mean they don't.
They don't, right, exactly.
They need someone there to regulate them. Don't assume they can do it themselves.
The interesting thing is that because older people are more vulnerable to medications and things, and because the prescription drugs that they take and the over-the-counter drugs that they take can have a interaction that's not good. And if somebody isn't paying attention to that, in the long haul, you've got a real problem here. So being aware of what's going on in your family.
And listening to what they say. It's very easy when you're listening to someone who's older. Oh, they always complain about their ankle and their hip. And but if you're really listening, if the tone is changing and you hear the depression kicking in. I had an aunt I was very, very close to, and toward the end of her life, the more we would talk, I heard her get more and more depressed. And she talked to me several times about wanting to take her own life. And we'd be on the phone for hours, and it's real. And she started making plans. And
Yeah.
so you can't just say, oh, they're just old and getting
Well,
senile. You
yeah.
have to take that seriously.
And there's another piece of this puzzle, because you're dead right. And when people get depressed, they use medications,
Yes.
and they mix that with alcohol. And the older you get, the less you can tolerate those kinds of things, because your body, your
That's
brain,
true.
things. So when we're looking at the possibility of upwards of 20% of the elder population using drugs and drinking, you're looking at some pretty scary stuff.
And I would say if you don't have family members and you're listening and you are in that population and feeling alone, don't be afraid to go to your neighbor. Don't be afraid to go to your doctor and say, you know, I'm struggling. I'm feeling really sad. I'm misusing my medication. Because what I tell people when I'm doing groups or speaking or one-on-ones is every time you speak it, it loses power. Whatever that thing is that you're ashamed of, that you're holding on to, could be something from 50 years ago. Once you speak it to another person, it loses power, and it's the beginning of getting some hope and healing, and it's never too late for that.
Well, I think that's a big deal. I think
It's a huge
never
deal.
Yeah. Feeling cared about solves an awful lot of problems.
It does, but
Yeah.
there has to be an active
And that's
attempt.
yes,
on,
you have to
on
be. It's an
somebody's part.
engagement with people. There's a lot of things that we can do as children of
Yes.
older people, and there's a lot of things we can ask our children, being an older person, to help us with the process. So
We can, and I just want there to be hope for the person living alone who may not have children or have estranged children.
now
and need
let's
help.
do a connection here. The things we're talking about right now with the elderly or older population
Yes.
is the same identical thing for anybody who has an addiction. Is like tell people.
Tell people.
If I'm watching you and I see that there's an issue, can I say to you, hey, I see something going on here?
You and I
Can
know
I
we
step
can do
into
that,
it?
but we're talking about that baby boomer generation where there's you
Mhm.
keep it a secret, you don't air your dirty laundry to the neighbors, and there's a lot of shame attached to it. So it's a much harder segment where things are getting more open now, not as open as they should be, but they're getting there to feel safe to say that to someone. It's difficult.
The difficulty lies in the fact that what am I exposing myself? Am I exposing the fact I'm a failure? Am I exposing
Right.
the fact that I can't handle things? Am I exposing my weaknesses? What am I exposing? And possibly you're exposing the fact that you want to be cared about.
And it might be if there's nobody you feel safe talking to, you just call your doctor and tell them. There's always somebody to listen.
Well, if I call my doctor and I can order some more pills too.
I know, but you always think about pills. I mean, that's true, they
No,
might
actually,
give them
alcohol's
pills,
my-
but you're a little
alcohol's my drug of
OCD
choice, so
on the
I'm
pill
not-
thing.
yeah.
I know. This is Recovery Talk Live. Visit us at recoverytalklive.com. We're talking about prescription drug abuse today and how it affects the elder community. And I just want people to know there is hope. Wherever community you're living in, there is somebody who cares. And if you are hurting right now, that next person you see today may be the person you just say to, I need some help.
So you're asking about,
And I need somebody to
you're
talk
telling
to.
somebody to be courageous. You're telling somebody to
Yes.
step up and say, hey, I'm not okay.
Because right now, there could be somebody as we're listening, and you and I have both been in this point in our lives, Terry, where you're about to go off the cliff and you don't want to make it anymore. We've both reached that bottom.
Right.
So all you need is one person to tell you, you're going to make it. You're going to be okay where you are right now, even though you don't feel like it. Just reach out and tell one person. And that can be the beginning of saving somebody's life.
So are you suggesting that we as a community
Yes.
start looking out for each other?
I'm thinking it's a good idea. It's a new idea to the 21st century, but what if we did that?
What if we did that?
What if we didn't just drive in our garage and close the door and hope that granny next door is not dying on the rocker on the porch? What if we did that? What if we
did that?
knocked on the door and said, how are you doing? I noticed you live alone. Can I offer you something?
Are you suggesting that we get to know our neighbors?
It could happen. This is a very segmented society where everybody wants to be in their own box. Do you see the neighbor across the street that their spouse just died and they're alone? Have you gone over there to be sure they're okay? Maybe they're not. I think we need to take some ownership for each other. We're responsible for ourselves, but you're only going to help yourself by reaching out and helping other people. So be brave and do it. And if you're
All right,
sitting there
so if
right
I do
now
that-
hurting, you're going to make it.
If I do that, if I invest in other people, that's a scary thought. Because
But you can do it.
can I?
Yeah, I know you can. And I
Right.
know
so,
I can.
So we're asking people today to say, hey, how can I help you? Are you okay? What's going on?
That's right.
Can I get involved in your life? Can I, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, etc., next door neighbor,
That's right. Reach out.
reach out and say,
I
hey,
mean-
I care about you. You matter to me. How can I help?
That's exactly it. And you know what? That's why we sit here and air our dirty laundry at the risk that nobody may want to talk to us. And we put it out there because we've both had tremendous healing and a tremendous journey because of a loving God. And we want other people to have that same experience. It's not about us, it's about the healing. So I'm just saying, for if you're afraid to reach out to somebody, if you're looking for the reward, you will be rewarded.
Okay.
Trust me, you'll be rewarded.
So if I take this chance, if I step out and I say, hey, can I help? And somebody says yes.
Then you listen. You don't have to fix it. That's what, and this is Recovery Talk Live. Visit us at recoverytalklive.com. We're airing today on KFNX, and the answer to that question is yes. I think people are afraid that they're going to think they have to fix the whole thing, and all you have to do, I heard a pastor say this once, is you give somebody a listen and a touch. Just a listen. I hear what you're saying, touch their arm. All they need is somebody to listen to them. And maybe you bake them a pie, or they just need a ride to the corner to get some food. You don't have to change their world. They just need someone to sit there and validate that their existence matters.
So if I walk across the street to the lady whose husband died 2 years ago,
yes,
and invite her to come over for Thanksgiving dinner because we've got room at the table.
What's the worst thing that can happen? She says no.
She says no.
Nothing is lost by you. It's not a rejection of you. It's reaching out, and you could save someone's life. I heard Joyce Myers tell this story, and I'll give a real abridged version, and she uses this in one of her books about a kid who was being bullied in junior high. He got some books knocked over. Short story is another kid came over and helped him. He came out of a private school. He was kind of a geek in high school. They were best friends through high school. And the geek was the valedictorian. He's giving his message. The story always makes me cry, so I could lose it right here. And as he's giving his message, he talks about coming back in, coming to school. And he was being teased for carrying all his books home. And what he shared at that graduation announcement was the reason he was carrying all his books home is he was going home to kill himself that night. And he didn't want his mom to have to clean out his locker. And because that one kid walked over and picked up his books, he took his books back to school and never took his life.
That's on one side, I think that's a great story.
It's an example.
The other side is that's a terrifying idea. That I'm the one that went over and picked up the books. I'm the one who walked across the street.
It's not giving you responsibility. It's just saying you don't know how your random act of kindness could bless somebody, and you may never know, but God knows, and you're making a difference.
So if I'm investing, I'm going to get this really clean and neat.
Because we only have a minute left.
Yeah, if I'm saying to somebody, I care about you, and I will walk across the street, it's not going to cost me a whole lot, and I might make a difference in somebody's life.
You can save their life.
Well, that's a lot of weight for me to
carry. It could save their life emotionally. It could save them, their life from loneliness. There's a lot of different aspects, but there's hope, and all we're asking you to do is make one step today to pay it forward and make a difference.
All right, so that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I think we're getting to the end of our segment. You have one last minute of hope?
I think the biggest thing for me is to say get involved, to care enough, to ask questions, to do all kinds of stuff. And we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Well, you've been listening to Recovery Talk Live on KFNX, and this is Dawn and Terry. And visit us at recoverytalklive.com. Please visit the contact page. Visit us at Twitter. Tell us how you feel. We care about how you feel, and we will write back to you. Have a great day.
Jeez, that was weird.
That was. You could hear this real faint, and then it went out, and then it came back.
Sarah? She's doing the news.
I mean, we're done. You're done. We're done.
But I wanted more. I had more to say.